It would take a scientist to figure out the meaning behind this movie, because to summarize it in one sentence, man, it was weird. Mother, directed by Darren Aronofsky, who gave us Black Swan, and tells the most peculiar story of a married couple played by Jennifer Lawrence and Hannio Bardem. They have built a wonderful life out in the country in a isolated house in the middle of nowhere until two strangers played by Michelle Pfeiffer and Ed Harris, who just barged into their house, much to the wife's distress, even though the husband gladly welcomes them in, and eventually their house just starts getting fuller and fuller until it's so frightening full of strangers that the mother just eventually is having none of it. And it's overall just a psychological thriller that's one of the weirdest movies I've ever seen in my life. How to describe this strange movie? It's getting mixed reviews. It's getting mixed reviews. It's getting a okay score of 67% on Rotten Tomatoes, but it's a box office bomb. Nobody's seeing this movie, and which I think is kind of a shame. While there are going to be people who are on both sides of the fence with this movie, some are going to either love it or hate it. I'm really stuck in the middle. I enjoyed it, but I didn't love it. The reason I got pumped to see this movie was because of Chris Stuckman's really positive score of A-. If Chris Stuckman sees something great in this movie, hopefully I will too. And I can't say it's the masterpiece that it wants to be, but I enjoy it enough for what it is. I mean, Darren Aronofsky has crafted a masterful psychological thriller. First thing to point out about this movie: do not go in expecting a horror movie. The trailer that led you to believe it's a horror movie, they are completely misleading. This isn't a horror movie. It won't scare you as such. It's a psychological thriller. It's more of a thrilling movie and thought-provoking one. I've got to hand it to Darren Aronofsky for really making us think about this movie, for even coming up with this weird story. But from what I got from it, he's trying to tell the story of, how God created the earth. That's why this movie's titled Mother, simply because the Hannio Bardem's character is God, Jennifer Lawrence's character is Mother Earth herself, and the strangers, Michelle Pfeiffer and Ed Harris, they are basically Adam and Eve. So it's basically Aronofsky's very interesting way of telling the story of creationism. That's the best way I can describe it. And over the performances and characters, Jennifer Lawrence makes this movie. This is her movie. She is the best character and best performance in the film easily. This is the best performance I have literally ever seen from her. She got hate in X-Men Apocalypse and Passengers, saying look, she didn't look like she wanted to be there, but I personally didn't see that. I didn't think she was phoning it in. I loved her in Apocalypse, and Passengers wasn't a great movie, but in this movie she returns to form. I mean, she just doesn't want anyone else to come into her house as Mother Earth. She just wants things to be the way they were between her and God. Just like Mother Nature hates what humans have done to her, and how they have just butchered the environment, and who can blame her? And Hannio Bardem was also great as the God like figure. He starts out as a likable character, but he gets ever so menacing as he invites more and more strangers into their home. And Michelle Pfeiffer and Ed Harris, as the married couple who are the representations of Adam and Eve, were creepy as hell. They really pulled it off. How destructive a man could be when they do things to the home that mother is not happy with. For example, in one scene, they literally paint her walls, and I agree with her. I wouldn't want any random stranger to come into my house and just paint my walls with whatever the heck they wanted. And yeah, all of the performances are deeply satisfying, and Darren Aronofsky's direction hugely impressed me. You could tell he was really trying to make an artistic movie here, even if the final product didn't turn out perfect. It's a great effort. This movie had a appeal to me since I am a person that can just sit down and think and talk about movies for the rest of my life. Yes, I spent a whole hour just sitting down and processing my thoughts on this movie. That's how sophisticated and clever the writing really is. But I have to admit, this movie's nowhere near perfect. So as far as my gripes with it go, the biggest issue with it is that the first and second acts move way too slowly for me. Yes, the pacing is pretty terrible in the beginning and middle. Not much was happening aside from strangers coming into mother and him's house. That did drag on too long, I felt. It's only really until the third act that shit starts to go down, and I start to get engaged again, and the tension rises. The third act definitely makes up for the rest of the movie. It is far and away the best and greatest parts, and the third act, please stay for it, guys, if you do pay to see this movie. And the trailers really deceived me into believing it would be a horror movie, so when there's little to no scares, that was disappointing. I gotta take off points for a total false advertising. If it weren't for that jaw-dropping final act, this movie wouldn't have a very high rewatchability factor. So is Mother weird? Hell yeah, but weird isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's a shame that not more people are seeing this movie. As a fan of movies, I would recommend it to all movie fans. If you want to just analyze a movie for an hour or two, I wouldn't recommend it to casual moviegoers, though, just to strict movie fans, because casual moviegoers will easily get bored and confused by it. But if you look at it as a dramatization of creationism, then you'll like it fine. If you want a perfect Darren Aronofsky movie, I suggest you guys watch Black Swan. That is such an amazing movie. That is, in my humble opinion, still his best film. I give Mother 3.5 stars out of 5. Is this movie in the same league as Black Swan? Of course not, but hey, it's still good. Well, I love you guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. And what do you think of Mother? Please comment and let me know. Please like this video and subscribe. Please follow me on Twitter and on Google+, and on Instagram. And I'll see you next time when I review Kingsman: The Golden Circle. I'll see you then. Bye, guys.